Yo, what's going on? LDI Dave Deluxe. Yeah, I just want to discuss briefly what poor communication is. I think people fail to understand when they say stuff like, you know what, if you don't know, if they don't know, I'm not going to tell them. That doesn't represent good communication. How can you talk through issues? How can you discuss issues? How can you resolve issues without good communication? You know, uh, people won't speak up and say how they feel because they're afraid of how somebody might think of them or how they might judge them. If you communicate with somebody intelligently, tell them how you feel about a situation, put your perspective out there intelligently where the person can understand where you're coming from, they have no choice but to heed to that, listen to what you're saying if they're an intelligent person. But communication is very important. How you learn a person, how you get to know a person, how you figure out a person's likes, dislikes, wants, needs, how secure they are, what their issues are. You got to be able to talk through these things, be able to discuss these things. Communication is key and is very, very, very important in all types of relationships and actually in all aspects of life. You have to let it be known where you coming from, what your desires are, what your wants and needs are, and a person will never know that if you don't know how to communicate that clearly and properly to a person. So, a lot of people I know and friends and acquaintances, I know people sitting around mad and like talking about how they can't find this or they can't get this, they can't accomplish this goal, but they're not talking to anybody about it. They're not having conversations to get over that hump. They think stuff is owed to them and stuff is due to them, so it's just going to automatically happen. And people fail to realize it don't work like that. Not on this earth. It don't work like that. You got to speak up. You got to be outspoken. People need to hear what you need to say and have to be able to comprehend what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? So I just got to stress this to people. And there's so many people out here, they'll leave a conversation dead end. Like, somebody will message them, text them, reach out to them, or whatever the case may be, and there'll be no response. You get no response. In my book, that drops you down to the bottom of my list. If I can't communicate with you, how can we evolve? How can we grow? How can we learn each other? And this is anything, personal relationship, business relationship. You got to have a good stream of communication that is good for both parties. It's some people I have great relationships with, and the only way we communicate is via email. But we understand each other. We understand where each person is coming from. So you got to find out what avenue is best for you to communicate with whoever you're communicating with, and can't have the one size fit all mentality. And what I mean by that is like everything don't work for everybody. You feel like if you were dealing with this person and they like you to cook this for them, don't think that's going to work for the next person. So you have to actually learn a person. If you have interest in a person or you have interest in doing business or having a relationship with somebody, you have to be able to communicate with them so you can see how y'all can connect and be on the same level and the same wavelength as far as communication goes. So I could go on and on and on about communication, how I feel about communication, being fair, yada, yada, yada. But it's more to come. Tap in. Let me know how y'all feel about it and what y'all do to communicate. How do you communicate with people? Are you a good communicator? Because I look at myself too. When I ask all these questions and have these different perspectives, I say, well, damn, I do that shit. And it makes me change my perspective. So that's why I like everybody's perspective, for people to tap in. Let me know how they feel, because this ain't just for y'all. This for me too. This for everybody. This could help whoever change their perspective on life and have a better life and move forward amicably. You heard? Tap in. LDI, Dave Deluxe. Let's go.